thought about wearing my Halloween costume. I have the scariest Halloween costume. I go as Winnie the Pooh. Think about it. What's creepier than me showing up to your front door wearing only a red half shirt? Carrying a pot of honey? Singing some White Zombie? Pretty creepy, I would know. I've seen me naked.
Before that, I worked on the Queen Mary, a ship in Long Beach, California. They have a Halloween haunted maze thingy they do every year. I was a vampire on that thing. That was tough for me. I don't know anything about vampires. There's only two types of vampires that I know. There's the modern day vampire that's like P90X, pff, glitter. And then there's Count Chocula. Just a lovable serial character. Both of those aren't scary. I had to be scary. Not to mention I'm the least intimidating dude ever. I'd pop out and 7-year-old kids would be like, I could take him. I just had to settle for being creepy. I just grabbed my cape, draped it over, and whispered in people's ears, hey, I'm naked into this. Got the biggest screams. The place I was at was supposed to be actually haunted. I didn't see anything. I was creeped out, though, the whole time. I watch all those ghost shows on TV. You guys watch those at all? There was one the other day I saw. It was on the Animal Planet, and people claim that their pets see ghosts. This lady was like, my dog Rocky just started barking at the wall for no reason. I was like, yeah, it's called being a dog. My great aunt once had a full conversation with a coffee mug. It doesn't mean her cup is haunted.
Oh, love it. I love Halloween, I do. I like going to a haunted house. Y'all ever go to a haunted house? That was about 12 of you. The rest of you already live in a haunted house? Is that what's going on here? I'm not gonna leave my haunted house to go to another one. I got my own problems at home. I love it, man. I love going to a haunted house. I do. I like watching all the shows on TV about haunted houses. And they got a bunch of those, too. You know, like American Horror Story and all those ghost hunting shows and Scooby-Doo. It's awesome. The thing is, it's always something huge that's haunted. It's always like a haunted mansion or a haunted prison or a haunted Sam's Club or something like that. It's always something really big. And they never show a haunted trailer. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to believe that nobody has ever been killed in a trailer and now wanted to come back and haunt that thing. You know there are haunted trailers out there somewhere, and the people who live in them are just too lazy to report it, you know? You know, there's some dude, he's just sitting in his trailer, and all of a sudden he hears, boo! What in the world was that? Go get me a beer. I'm gonna get my gun. That's what I'm gonna do. Turn the TV on. Swamp People is on. I can't find the remote control. You know that. Most ghosts are wearing like a Civil War outfit or a flowing gown or their IHOP uniform, and this ghost is wearing a white tank top and camo pants, and his name is Earl.
By the way, have you ever noticed that boo's the only scare word we know? That's all we got, and it's not inherently scary. Watch. Boo, boo, boo. Nothing! So why do people that use it think they did something creative? Boo, gotcha. Okay. No, it's the fact you were hiding in the refrigerator. That's what got me. Could have said pretty much anything. Monkey wrench, okay, that works. I don't celebrate Halloween, I'll tell you why, because it's an inherently flawed holiday. Here's how it's supposed to work. Trick or treat, I tricked you, you gotta give me candy. Problem is, you didn't trick me. You always come on the same day. Hence the bag of candy I had prepared. No trick, so no treat. The only trick or treat would really work is if you came like in May. 3 o'clock in the morning. What is going on? Trick or treat! Oh. You got me. Okay. Wow. All right. Here's a pickle. Okay.
example, I celebrate Halloween in August because when you show up at someone's house at night wearing a mask in August, you get better stuff.
Who can tell me what the most popular item is at secondhand stores? Anyone? And it's based on a season. That's the clue that I will give you. Christmas sweaters would be number 2. Halloween costume. Very good. Does that come from you, sir? Have you ever done that? Bought a Halloween costume at the Goodwill? No, but you've seen it happen, right? And by saying it, it's make your costume out of the things they have, not buy an old Halloween costume, because no one would do that. They're not made well enough to get a second spin. Plus, they make them so well. Who would buy an old Halloween, really? Remember the ones that we had to wear, the one-dimensional plastic face mask that fastened with a rubber band that would snap off your face after the second house because the metal piece had flipped sideways and shoot through the hole and you can't get it back, so you're trying to stretch it under the staple to get it through the hole, but that doesn't work because there's a tear where the hole is. So you're like holding up the mask with one hand and dragging a candy with the other. You're knocking on doors with your rear end. Yeah, this is working out perfectly. I've got a box of Milk Duds. I'm ready to pass out. This is not an exciting day. I'm gonna go home and get my ghost costume. Remember the ghost costume? That was our insurance policy, right? Fallback option. If all else failed, you could always be a ghost. He's right there in the bed waiting for you. That's how easy that is. Pull up that sheet, you drop it over your head, you're a ghost. Always spot the bedwetters a lot quicker on Halloween, too, couldn't you? My God, look at that. A specter with a bladder control problem. I'm doubly frightened.
We've been through a lot, haven't we? These brats don't know any better. Oh, they're spoiled. I have a little nephew, Evan, Yvonne, I don't know what the heck his name is. I got him a Halloween mask. You know the cool masks for the kids today? The rubber ones, you pump the blood, comes out of the pore. I don't like it, Uncle. You little brat. Do you know what I had? What you had growing up? See if you relate to this. I'm surprised I'm still alive. I had a plastic suffocation chamber with a thin rubber band that ripped your hair out of the roots. The eye slits were on the forehead. You can't see! The only hole in the mask was that little slit in the mouth. But you didn't breathe, whether you just stuck your tongue out. When you got stuck, looked like a flirty Chewbacca the whole night.
I have friends back in New York. Tell me this isn't insane. On Halloween last year, they spent $242 on costumes for 2 children. $121 a pop. Is that insane? Everybody here, take yourself back to when you were a little kid. You ever have a costume that was $5? No, you were lucky if you had what I had. Your mother cut 2 holes in an old sheet. You're a ghost. There you go. You're a ghost. One year, my mother had a brand new white sheet and she couldn't cut it up. So she just put it over me and said, "You're a piece of furniture being moved." $242? Are you insane? We didn't have that. We had homemade costumes. We couldn't even get my mother and father to shoot the lock off the wallet and get us that costume from the department store, the one that we all wanted when we were little kids. If you grew up in the 70s and 80s, we all had the same costume. That little junky costume in the box. It was a plastic mask, laced with asbestos on the inside. Remember this piece of garbage? Had a wonderful security strap, the rubber band stapled to each side. This thing is so tight on your face. You got paper cuts on your eyelids and your tongue. You're inhaling dried snot the whole day. Wasn't all your snot because you switched the mask with your friends a few times. By 6:30, the rubber band snap, you're holding it on like a little idiot. I'm looking on Instagram and Facebook, my friends' kids, they look like they just come out of a Tim Burton film or they come out of the Disney costume lot. They had these unbelievable high-definition costumes. They looked like they were in the movie Frozen. And then I look back through my old photo album of the Polaroids that I had. We had the little crappy mask, and it had a vinyl smock, right? That went over your clothes with a cartoon picture of the body. And no child safety, may I interject. We had no child safety when we were all growing up, because that costume that our parents put on us, there was a warning on the side label that said highly flammable, right on the box. My mother's ashing cigarettes and inches over our heads. That's what trick-or-treating. She's like, roll around. Yoga while roll around. Hurry up. Stop, drop, and roll. Let's go. Will you go put your brother out, please? Put your brother out and ring the doorbell. You guys got 26 minutes. My stories are coming on.
So as you guys can imagine, my favorite holiday is Halloween. I like it a lot more now as an adult because as a kid, my family did not have a lot of money, so Halloween was never a priority to us. And it hurt because I go trick-or-treating with my friends, and my buddy Steve was Superman. He had the muscles and the cape, and my buddy Justin was a G.I. Joe. He had the camouflage face paint, the camouflage gear, the boots, the toy gun, And it hurt because I had to make my own costume for several years. And the only thing I could do is I take a big red rope and hold it over my head just like this. I'll go door to door trick-or-treating, and people will be like, little boy, what are you supposed to be? And I would tell them, I'm a child living below the poverty line. And I got twice as much candy as all the other kids. I know, I'm a pretty smart idiot.
Anybody grew up in a religious household out here? A lot of you guys did? Yeah? Yeah. Did you get to dress up for Halloween? Yeah. See, I got to dress up for Halloween as well, as long as it was a Bible character. So like if I could have been somebody cool, like say Samson or David or Goliath or something like that, that would be cool, right? But no, I had to be the Bible, and since I was a fat kid, I had to be both testaments. That's not cool. That is not cool. I was so chubby as a kid. And I remember I was like 5'5", probably 5'4" wide. And my mom, she found this old refrigerator box. And she painted a blue rope Bible on it, sends me out trick-or-treating in this thing, And the problem was, I was so short, this box went down past my knees. So I couldn't bend my legs to get upstairs to actually trick-or-treat. I'd have to stand in driveways and throw rocks at doors and hope to God somebody throw me a Tootsie Roll or something,
And hopefully you never have to use the fallback option, because whatever your kids want to be for Halloween, that's the costume you get them. When I was a kid, I was Batman every year because I was such a huge fan of Batman. And kids now, that's more popular even when I was a kid. But it's so different now because kids dress up like Batman. They've got body armor on. And remember our Batman? Adam West was our Batman, right? That's how I thought Batman was supposed to behave. I was knocking on doors. I wasn't just Batman. I was Adam West as Batman, right? Trick or treat, good citizen. Carefully produce your sugar-coated confections and place them in the candy compartment of my utility belt. Sure, it took me a little longer to trick-or-treat, but I was method. Anybody ever go too late? The costume that your son or daughter asked you for wasn't there anymore? Then you gotta literally scrape whatever's at the bottom of the barrel the whole ride home. You're like, okay, how do I sell this as the intended costume? How am I gonna convince an 8-year-old boy that Holly Hobby is an appropriate look? You're like, no, it looks fantastic. Just stick close to your brother's strawberry shortcake. Everything's gonna be fine.
My favorite time of the year to be a cop is Halloween time. Because you see the craziest stuff. And, it comes at you. You got to deal with it. This last Halloween, I'm driving down the boulevard, and there's a lady on the corner dressed up like a white cotton ball. So I was like, what? What are you? She's like, me? I was like, yeah, you. What are you? She's like, I am a loofah. Are you a dirty officer? Maybe? She's like, good. And I'm like, I realize with all the stuff going on with cops around the country that we got to be proactive, right? In building rapport with citizens. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I got you, sister. I grabbed the strobe lights. I turned them all on. I grabbed my PA and I'm all... She's like, oh my goodness, I didn't know we were gonna make money. I got you. That's the scariest thing you've ever seen. I sure hope he knows where the end of the stage is. So I'm into it, right? I got this side of the street. This side of the street. Not paying attention. There comes my supervisor driving around the corner. I know, right? I didn't know what to do. So I tased the loofah. Twice.
My mom's favorite day of the year is Halloween because for one day a year, her son's a doctor. Which is very mean. My mom said, no, dude. Every time I upset her, she makes me do weird stuff, like a punishment that I don't even see coming until it happens. Last year, she made me take my cousin trick-or-treating for Halloween. I was like, of course I will. I don't care. I love Halloween. Let's go. I go pick up my cousin, an 11-year-old Indian kid. You know what he's dressed like? A Slurpee. I wanted to knock the straw off his head. I'm like, why are you dressed like a Slurpee? You're Indian. People make fun of us about this. Why would you decide to dress yourself up like a Slurpee? But I couldn't say any of that because I was dressed like Aladdin. I could say nothing. I was like, just hop on the carpet. It's gonna be a long ride. It's the worst.
Hey, Halloween. You guys like Halloween? Isn't it a great holiday? I never liked it when I was growing up. I lived on a farm. Anybody out there grew up on a farm? You live on a farm, Halloween stinks. You go trick-or-treating, the next house is 8 miles away. You walk 8 miles, a man hands you an apple. Here you go, son. Oh, gee, thank you, mister. We don't have these things on our farm. What do you call them again?
And then you have to give your kids the rules of Halloween. Remember those rules of Halloween? Number one was the apple rule. What was that? Somebody gave you an apple, you had to consider the possibility of what? Exactly right, that some nut may have put a razor blade in the apple. It is then your responsibility, and I mean this, to whip that apple off the side of that guy's house as hard as you possibly can. It's one of the unwritten laws of Halloween. Like the one that says if you put a pumpkin out in front of your house, may as well put with it a sign that says, hey, would you guys please kick this all over the neighborhood, please? We were hoping you'd have a punting contest with it out front and then smear what's left of the jack-o'-lantern all over our siding. We'd like that.
Now, but the year before, we had, I don't know if where you live, where I live, in my neighborhood, in my plan, we have the social media, we have our own Facebook page. And the people that run those are always the people that want to tell you how to live your life. So go on, and the one woman, this is what she said. For Halloween, she says, this year, let's have allergy-free trick-or-treat. So I asked, I said, what would we give kids that are allergy-free? She said, how about raisins? Yeah. Oh. I said, if I was a kid and you gave me raisins for trick-or-treat, I would have egged the inside of your house.
It's a weird holiday. You have to go out and you buy candy and give it to other people's children. You try that any other time of year, you're going to prison. And I ran out of candy. Anybody ever run out of candy on Halloween? Well, first of all, I ate it. But it's not my fault they start selling it in July. I buy it in July. By October, half of it is gone. And last year, I ran out of candy. 7 o'clock, I was out of candy. Nothing left. I turned off the lights, and they're still knocking on the door. And I'm behind the couch hiding from them. Go away! The light is off. Don't you know the rules? They still kept coming. You know, I ended up giving up. Expired cans of stuff. Trick or treat. Green beans. One little kid says, I'm going to give your house a bad review on Yelp. I'll like it.
I think we have to teach the next generation about taxes. Folks, if you have kids, please teach them. And the best time you can do this is on Halloween. See, because they're going to put in about 8 full hours of power trick-or-treating. They're going to be bringing home a nice big bag of what should be take-home candy. Just greet that little tyke at the door, just, hey, that's a nice big bag of candy you got there, Harry Potter. But first of all, now see, just because you've made this much, we have to take away this much income tax. Then, to ensure you'll have candy in your old age, pay the Social Security tax. Oh, come on, quit crying. Look, you're going to see it in 50, 60 years. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll just put that right up here, won't touch it till then. I got to level with you, man. Grandpa's going to eat all that. You'll have grandchildren of your own, don't you worry. Well, last of all, we can't forget that state tax, can we? Oh, wait, we might have people from Idaho here. Here's your Snickers bar. Okay, here, this is funnier. Hold on just a minute. Ooh, payday. Oh, wait, you're gonna eat that right now? Hold it, sales tax. You know, I think kids are smarter than that. I'll bet if you did that to your kid, he wouldn't even get dressed up the next year. Probably spend the whole evening on the couch in front of the tube, and when mom puts out that big bowl of candy for the other kids, he's just gonna walk over to that bowl, dump it in his bag. Hey, I'm on welfare this year.
A large family, your favorite holiday is Halloween because it is incentive-based. If you hustle, you can stock up for the year. Halloween comes around, all you know is you're going to run for as hard as you can, as long as you can. A lot of kids try to tell you, oh, Halloween ends at 10 p.m. Wrong. Halloween ends when people quit answering the door. And most kids, they're just concerned about what they're going to be for Halloween. You ask a kid from a large family, what are you going to be? I'm going to be as fast as I can. You're going to wear a costume? A costume would slow me down. And you hate it when you get to that nice lady's house, that nice lady that just wants to talk, Halloween night, and she wants to have a conversation. And what are you supposed to be? I do not have time for this. Put the candy in the bag. I had one brother, he wouldn't even talk to people. Halloween night, they try to talk to him. He'd just look at him and go, I've seen grown men just back away, just throw candy at him, maybe he'll leave. We had a new guy move into the neighborhood one year. He just looked at my brother and said, "Scusi." And you know what you hate? Well, actually what you love is the lazy guy's house. The lazy guy, Halloween night, the guy that puts a bowl full of candy on his front porch with the note, "Please take one." We not only dumped the bowl, we took the bowl. We took the note because you want to show other kids, you got to read this. This is funny.
Those are the same people that put all their candy in one big bowl, right? Leave it on the front step. What does their sign say? Anyone? Take one. Where do you live? Take one. Are you serious? I'm the first kid of that house. I'm taking the bowl, too. I'm a decorative Mother's Day gift as far as I'm concerned. Take one. You're an idiot. Take one. How about the guy that forgot Halloween? Remember that guy? Didn't have any idea what day it was? No candy? You get there, now he has to find things in the house to give you. Yeah, that always worked out well, didn't it? Yeah, Slim Jims and Robitussin. No, that's perfect. I have bronchitis. Here, kid, here's an egg. Scoop of peanut butter for you, my friend. It's like, man, if the guy next door has bread, what a day this would be. But a boy can dream.
And we use pillowcases, because, you know, that pillowcases, you can't fill them up. It's physically impossible. We try it every year. But you got the pillowcase, and then you see that kid with the paper bag, whack! Oh, I'd love to help you pick up your candy.
Everything isn't cooler now. Some things were more fun when I was little. Halloween used to be more fun. Halloween's sad now. Kids trick-or-treat in the middle of the afternoon. They only go to the houses of people that they already know. Ooh, that's spooky. When I was little, we had to face fear and earn our candy. My parents would drive me somewhere in the middle of the night, drop me off alone, make me trick-or-treat my way back to the house. I didn't know where I was, and I couldn't see out of my mask. I had to say, trick-or-treat. Do you know which way I live? They'd always put me in the same homemade costume, an all-black costume with no reflectors. I don't want to be a ninja again. Tommy, remember, ninjas are quiet. And they walk in the middle of the street. If you were lucky enough to make it home, what'd you have to do back then? Dump all your candy out on the floor. Spread it out. If anything was unwrapped or tampered with, you had to eat that right away. Because it could go bad. Most of stand-up comedy is exaggeration. I wish I was exaggerating in this next story. I had a kid come to my door trick-or-treating last year at 3 p.m. 5-year-old boy dressed as the devil. I opened the door, trick-or-treat. Trick-or-treat, it's the middle of the day. Why aren't you trick-or-treating after dark? He goes, oh, I'm scared of the dark. You're the devil. You're the prince of darkness. Halloween's about fear. You can't handle fear. You're not getting any candy. Get into character. And I closed the door. Feeling pretty good about myself till a minute later when the devil's mom came to the door. She is way scarier than the devil.
Right? Like, I love horror movies. Anyone else? Yeah, they're great, aren't they? And it's not even the movie that scares you, really. It's afterwards that scares you. You know, that's the scariest part of a horror movie. Walking your car in the parking lot, that's the scariest part. You leave the theater, all the lights are flickering, you're just like, oh no. You just start skipping for no reason. You know, because you're just like, nope, they can't kill you if you skip. Nobody, you know, anybody sees you, oh, he's too happy, let's leave him alone. Everything's scary after a horror movie. You go home, you gotta go pee, you go to the restroom, the shower curtain's closed, you're just like, nope, not gonna happen. Nope. Who closed the shower curtain? No. I'm gonna go pee in the kitchen sink. Who did this? Even if it's just halfway closed, that freaks you out, because you know that the killer's just standing there. Just, get closer, stabby, stabby, right? And we all do the same thing. You walk really slow to the shower curtain. You're like, all right, nothing's there. I don't need the toilet. I peed my pants. We're good? Everything's scary after a horror movie, right? Every other night, you're fine sleeping in your bed with your arms out, feet out. No problem, right? Just sitting there right then. Not horror movie night. You got to tuck yourself in like a little burrito. You ever have to do that? Horror movie night, just tuck yourself in like a little burrito. Just make sure no arm is out. And then right before you go to bed, you always hear a noise. Something like, "Rrr," and you just lay flatter in the bed. You know, you just try to pretend you're another pillow. After 3 minutes, you finally get the guts to be like, hello? Now let me ask you this. What are you gonna do if something answers? Right, what if something's like, hello? Like, oh no, I made friends with it. It's gonna be in the back of all my pictures now.
So I'm going to tell you about the first time I scared my wife and how badly it went. We're watching TV together, and it's the week of Halloween, so I'm like, this is the perfect time to test her out of a little bit of scaring. It feels seasonal. We're watching TV together, and she decides to go to bed. And a weird thing again, when you live with someone and they go to bed, you are allowed to stay up. But it is a little bit frowned upon, isn't it? Like, she's in bed, I'm in the living room, lights down, TV on volume 1 for some reason. Only eating yogurt because it doesn't make any noise, you know. No apples after midnight, that's the rule in our house. Too loud a food. So she decides to go to bed, but she goes to the bathroom first. So I'm like, this is my perfect opportunity. I run into the bedroom, I get behind the bedroom door. As soon as I get behind the bedroom door, I start giggling to myself. Behind a door, when I know a scare is about to happen, is my happy place, I swear. I could stand behind a door for years if I know there's a scare at the end. I think they should use this at the emergency room. I swear, that would be great, wouldn't it? Go to the emergency room. How long to see a doctor? 9 hours, but you can stand behind the door and scare him when he turns up. He'll be there going, ah, scared you. And the doctor will be like, ah, you're going to die, scared you. Ah, fun. Right. Hilarious. So I'm behind the door, she's in the bathroom, like, giggling, this is going to be so fun. She's going to come in, I'm going to jump out, go, ah! She's going to go, ah! We're going to laugh, we're going to grow closer as a couple. That is not what happened. And I still think this is slightly her fault. Because I'm behind the door, a bit of cheeky pre-bed scaring, she's going to love it. But what happens is, on entry to the bedroom, before doing anything else, she immediately turns the light off. And I'm there going, oh no. Because that ramps things up 20 notches more than you want. Everything is incrementally scarier in the dark, isn't it? I could have been just standing there holding a muffin. That would have scared her to death. I baked it for you. It's blueberry flavor. So she's in the room, the lights are off, and I'm in my head going, what are my options here? What am I gonna... And I decide I have to say something. I've got to do something, make some form of noise, because how much more scary for her would it be if she just got into bed, looked up, a few seconds later, and just saw like a shadowy figure leaving, exits, never gets mentioned ever again. So I decide to say something to make it better, but I made it worse. Because all that happened was she came in the room, turned the light off, shut the door, faced my vague direction. I locked eyes with her and just went, I'm sorry. She screamed so loud that I automatically walked straight out and went to bed on the sofa, knowing I laughed myself to sleep.
Everything's scary after a horror movie. You can't even get off bed regularly. You have to do a full leap. You ever had to do that? Right? Because usually you could step down, no problem. Not horror movie night, no. Full leap, because you know that if you just step off the bed, little old lady hand's gonna grab you. Come on! Let's go! Scares you. Hallways are scary. You just start jumping for light switches. You ever just... Right? I just jump and I leave them all on, you know? And I don't trust mirrors after horror movie night. I don't trust... Did that freak you out? Your own reflection? I try to catch it before it gets me. You know what I'm saying? I'll be brushing my teeth. I'm like, ha! All right, not again. Okay, there you go. I try, man. I get really scared. This is what I'll do. If I'm in my bed and I'm scared, I'll grab my cell phone and I'll try to light the room. Anyone else do that? Right? With the worst possible lighting ever. You know what my biggest fear is? Is that one day I'm going to be like, nothing, eyes. Oh, my God. Oh, God, it knows I saw it. And it knows I have no signal. No! Why, T-Mobile? I've learned a lot, though, from horror movies, right? You know, I learned little things. Like when I watched The Ring, I didn't answer the phone for 7 days. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna happen. You can't get me. If I move in a house and I see 2 little girls jumping rope outside of my house, singing nursery rhymes, I'm moving. Right? If you ever see that, if you see 2 little girls in full dresses, just na 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 na, leave. Those are ghost kids. Kids don't play outside anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, those kids have been dead for 200 years. Jumping rope outside? No! Where's your iPad? Kids play jump roping apps? That's what they play. Oh, look at me jumping rope on this app.
I like going to the corn maze during Halloween. That's fun. You guys ever heard? So you guys usually, there's usually at least one person's like, yeah. You guys are like, what is a corn maze? If you've never been to one, it's like you get lost. You're paying to get lost. It's like going to an outdoor IKEA. It is a strange concept, though, paying to get lost. I think next year we're just going to give our car keys to a stranger at the mall. All right, leave it at the parking garage on the 3rd level. Don't go any. Right, we'll come back an hour later. Ooh, where's our Honda? Ooh, this is spooky. There was a couple that got so lost at the corn maze they called 911. I mean, it's corn. Couldn't you just like push it out of the way? Like, come on, let's go, let's go, right? Was it just some guy that was like hard-headed? I never asked for directions, Tammy. Give me another energy drink. I mean, it was like, seriously, it was like 3 a.m. They called 911. I would love to have heard that. 911, what's your emergency? We're trapped. Yes, everyone's gone. The creatures, the employees, the customers. It's 3 a.m. We're scared. What do you mean you're trapped? Are you in a building? No, we're Mr. Pickles' pumpkin patch. We're in a corn maze, and no, it's not amazing. We're so confused. We feel cornered. It's gonna get worse. We're from the Silicon Valley. My boyfriend's name is Cornelius. My name is Candy Corn. Are you still there? Do I still have your ear? Yellow. Yellow. Oh, is this the captain? May I please speak to the colonel? We're scared. We're in a corn maze. We feel like we're being stalked. You're on your way? Oh, shucks. That joke is corny. When you make it out of the corn maze, you feel good about it, right? You know, your friends take your pictures, they're like, congratulations. If you're Jewish, they're like, Mazel tov.